I think this axe is too heavy. Does it look too big to you? I should have gotten a spear. A really long spear. Don't want to get too close when you stick an enemy, right? I heard the blood spurts all over the place.
You're not a stonefish. State your business, or move along, if you please. You haven't heard of us? I really need to talk to that bard we paid to sing of our exploits back in Belkarth. Yes, the stonefish. We've come to the arena with the best weapons, the best armor, and the best muscle. You won't find a more professional outfit in all of Craglorn. Of course, our patrons have been very generous. Our patrons are extremely private individuals, and frankly, their identities are none of your concern. They have a vested interest in what lies at the end of the arena, and it's our job to get there so they can find out. Long enough to see 3 groups of warriors get hauled out on litters. As far as I can tell, a fight in the arena is certainly no day at the fair. Well, then there were the 9 groups that were hauled out in black canvas bags. What was left of them, in any event? Make no mistake, the arena is a bloodbath. It will eat you alive and spit out your bones. Worried? Me? Ridiculous. The stonefish are far too well equipped to worry about anything short of a Daedric prince. And what would a Daedric prince be doing in a place like this?
Why do the furless ones wear so much armor? Do they enjoy getting hit? All those pots and pans just slow them down. That must be why they get hit so much.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy? Of course you are. Me and my troops were discussing strategy. We've got a few surprises waiting for those tuskless runts. Lots of surprises. Well, for one thing... Hey, what are you trying to pull here? I'm not gonna tell you our strategy. That would be stupid. I'm not some skinny elf to be tricked by sly winks and twisted words. You must have been hit in the head. Don't you recognize your king? Dorzog the Gutter King, at your service. Lord of skeevers and cut purses and... you know, puddles. Things you find in the gutter. You really put me on the spot. I'm a king. Just trust me, all right? Sure? Of course I'm sure. I have a pointy crown. I have loyal knights. I even have a castle. All right. You caught me. I don't have a castle, but I have a crown and some knights. And as soon as we conquer this fancy pit fight, we're going to buy a castle with the winnings. Why wouldn't we? We're Dorzog's dozen, and we're ready for anything. Now you're catching on. Ha! Where do you figure my other 6 knights are? Sneaky, sneaky. Right, 9. A dozen. Don't they teach you numbers back in the civilized regions?
You're looking at one of Dorzog's dozen, the best warriors north of Belkarth. Get in our way and we'll cut you down. But not like a tree. I would never hurt a tree. Halt! We've no rations to spare, and we keep our own counsel. Now move along. We're really quite busy. The Diamond's daughters go where they please. Right now, it pleases us to compete in the Dragonstar Arena. Word of this place reached us, and we decided to show them how Imperials fight. These dirt farming provincials only respect strength. To bring Imperial law back to the region, what better way to get their attention than by winning their little games? Of course, Craglorn belongs to the Empire, as does every other province in Tamriel. Once we crush the forces in the arena, we'll put the rest of the region to heel. So it goes. For Imperial warriors, strength, confidence, rhetoric. These are the weapons of a true conqueror. The people of Craglorn cower in fear because of a few savages and cultists. They need the Empire. We simply want to remind them of that. We've heard rumors, but I refuse to give credence to most of the wild stories I've listened to. My guess? Common bandits. Or fat orc wives dressed as Daedra, for all I know. I don't really care. It won't be anything we can't handle. Imperial soldiers are always prepared. Whatever's inside the arena, it won't be able to stand against the strength of Akatosh.
Hello. I'm the healer for the Diamond's Daughters, and it's thirsty work. Keeping these sods alive is like trying to grow dragonthorn in salt water. But lucky for them, I have plenty to drink, and I'm equal to the challenge.
The captain really thinks we can bring Imperial law to this backwards region? That'll be the day. When pigs fly, I say.
Every life is a battle waiting to unfold. Is this a mask you see? Or is that just what you think you see? We all have things to hide. Flaws, secrets, doubts. Everyone wears a mask. Some are simply easier to notice. Everything. Nothing. I am a mystery wrapped in a puzzle, and that unsettles my opponents. Fear is at its worst when it is faceless, unseen. Or maybe I was horribly disfigured by acid. Or perhaps not. It serves me well. Still, you're the one asking all the questions. Seems to me that you may be the one with an unnatural need to know the truth behind all things. You think I'm alone? Your perceptions are so mundane. Really? No one at all? Are you certain? The world is full of hidden enemies. Foes that you never see until it is too late to do anything about it. An unsettling truth, but one you need to accept. Just one more mystery to ponder. There you go again, asking another question. As for the answer, no, that would be telling. The inscrutable enigma? Isn't it just so? Names are just another form of mask. We rarely reveal our true names to the world, preferring to hide behind commonplace labels. My name, at least, means something. It reveals that I am unrevealable. Real? What makes one name more real than another? Names are like cloaks, covering us in flowing fabric, creating an illusion. The illusion of personification. We think we are people with meaningful lives and meaningful relationships. But we are, in fact, pawns in a game, in a battle we cannot win. Bleak? Perhaps, but unraveling such mysteries grants me liberating power. Or maybe it's just difficult to see through the slits in this mask.
This
This architecture is really something, isn't it? Those old Nords really knew what they were doing. Hard to believe it was made by hands as big and clumsy as mine.
Meat without moon sugar is like chewing without teeth. Bah! Sugar Dance would trade your left arm for some sugarcane fritters right now.
You have wandered into the Five Claws camp. Are you lost? That's what we call ourselves, the Five Claws. We were simple Bandari, but we turned out to be far better warriors than we were traders. Except for Elfbiter. Her juggling is sleek. This one doesn't pay attention to the other warriors. They are boring and refuse to run when I want to chase them. Many of them also smell bad. This one cannot say. Besides, to admit worry is to show fear, and that is something Earcarver will never do. Well, one of the Redbirds did try to start a fight with Kasabi. He was very bad. She stabbed him many times. Perhaps it was not entirely his fault. He was fast asleep when Kasabi stabbed him. Important lesson. Never pick a fight with a Khajiit if they know where you sleep. Now he drinks mead through a piece of straw. Sad for him, but amusing, yes? The Five Claws seek gold. Earcarver doesn't know what these furless ones have planned for the winners, but this one is certain someone will pay gold to get it. Honestly, if we knew what it was and where to find it, we would simply steal it. Bah! This on bragging rights. Fame doesn't put food in an empty belly. And for the Five Claws, such attention would be a curse. It's harder to hide when everyone looks at you, yes?
Donkin is a very good listener, and has heard many things about the arena. More than just fighters roam the arena. Much more. This one does not know how they get all the strange creatures inside, but this one promises to find out.
You're not a stone.
Please, leave Holstag be. He's had a trying day. Me? Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a humble servant, a nobody. Pay me no mind. You want to know what I do? Well, it's my privilege to serve the mighty Holstag. I mend his clothes, fix his meals, polish his armor, sharpen his axe, that sort of thing. Oh no, friend, no, he can't. He's far too busy. It may look that way, but rest assured, he carries a heavy burden. Holstag needs to maintain fierce focus at all times. He's very excitable. Too much stimulation, and, well, accidents happen. He doesn't always know when a fight is socially acceptable. And he's always ready for a battle. Sometimes he attacks a block of wood or a rock, maybe some livestock. Other times, well, you don't want to be near Holstag at the wrong time. He's expressed interest, I think. It's hard to tell. Holstag isn't much of a conversationalist. I'd actually prefer he stayed out of there. We could use the gold, but I don't want to see him hurt anyone. He always feels bad when he hurts someone. I was a farmer back in Deshan. I wasn't rich or anything, but I managed to make ends meet. One day, while I was hauling my crop to market, I found Holstag in a gully. He was clutching his hand and crying like a baby netch. He had a splinter stuck in his palm. It was huge, like a dagger it was. It took forever to calm him down so I could look at it, but as soon as I removed it, he became peaceful. We've been fast friends ever since. Well, as I said, Holstag gets easily excited. When he killed that Gwar with his bare hands, I knew he had a talent that could earn us more than my crops ever would. Holstag doesn't talk much, but there's never a dull moment when we're together.
My accompaniment had to sail back to Oridon. Alas, he lost all the fingers on his playing hand in a tragic accident. But do not concern yourself. It was a favor to everyone near and far. His music was terrible, even before the accident.
Fight! Holstag, fight!
Excuse me, Capon Jam. I think one of us is confused. This table is reserved for stonefish warriors. I don't see any stonefish colors, and I don't recognize your ugly face, so I wager you're in the wrong place. Get lost.
Come to spit on us like the rest of these thugs? I'll tell you what I told the others. We're here to compete in the arena, nothing more. We are all that's left of the lost swords. Guilt by association. You know how it is. Oh, you don't know? We have a complicated relationship with the Scaled Court. It wasn't common knowledge until recently. Orky knows how these thick-headed pit rats found out. Not us, personally. Like I said, it's complicated. Our mercenary troops settled in Craglorn after we couldn't find work in Cyrodiil. Eventually, an Imperial mage approached us with an interesting offer. You don't know the half of it. She invited us to join her serpent cult. When our leader, Milvern One Sword, refused, she struck him dead on the spot. That really brought the group around. Most of them joined the cult straight away. No. Me and a few others played along for a while, but we slipped away before things got too intense. Capturing constellations, creating giant monsters, that's just not something we enjoy doing. We formed a new troop, the Lost Swords. I'd rather fight alongside a few trusted companions than be part of an army of mind-addled snake cultists.
Well?
Does the unworthy swine have something to say? Save it for the arena, little pig.
You never saw me, understand? I won't go back to my cohort. Not for all the gold and wayrest. Well, it was either desertion or beheading. At least I think the punishment is beheading. It's tough to keep track of the Covenant's latest methods of execution. My lieutenant beat a private to death with a bucket once. That was pretty creative. Remember that story about the guy beating another guy to death with a bucket? I killed that guy. With a tent stake. Mostly because I couldn't find a bucket. I love irony. Oh well. Life's full of missed opportunities. Intense? Perhaps. But I made the world a better place. Too bad the army doesn't see it that way. I've got real leadership potential. Just ask around. Except Delarin. Don't ask him. He's a miserable pig. Say, do you have a bucket I can borrow? Everyone's got a story to tell, and I'm here to listen. Why do you ask? Do I? Oh dear. I do try to blend in, but this lot is so... well, scruffy isn't the word. Rugged, maybe. Perhaps if I rub some mud on my face. No. I'm simply along for the ride. I'm a writer, you see. I'm recording a truthful account of the war in Cyrodiil. None of the standing armies would have me, so I threw in my lot with Isrud and her merry band. No? You don't think they're merry? I admit it might be a stretch, but you can't fault a writer for taking artistic liberties, can you? Entertain, mostly. I tell stories, sing songs, things like that. My singing is terrible, truth be told. But you know the saying, any port in a storm. Well, to be honest, I think my real job involves listening. People are so desperate to be heard. They spend hours telling me about their childhoods, their dead pets, their various, conquests. I'm sort of the biographer in residence. Some, I guess. Camjo told me a really fabulous story about how he killed an ogre with nothing but a jar of honey and a wooden spoon. But I'm fairly certain he was making it up. He doesn't know how to tie his own shoes. Oh, this? It's a story about last week's battle for Fort Aeliswell. Nasty business, but the people need to know what's going on in Cyrodiil. The truth must be told. How will they... Oh, you know, I have a few connections in Wayrest. There are lots of interested parties, buckets of them in fact. I just need to work out the finer details. It's a complicated business, you know, getting your work published. Well, not at the moment, no. But one day soon, you're going to see my reports all over Tamriel. I even have a name for my journal. The Grotword Gazette. Catchy, isn't it? It's going to change the way heralds pass on the news. Just you wait and see.
Grim times make good business. You should examine our wares. Talk to Severa and she'll offer you a spectacular deal. You could say that, though leader isn't quite the word I'd use. I'm more of a herder. This camp's like a shelter for lost dogs. Not a handful of brains among the lot of them. But you know, even a dull-witted mutt has its uses. Chores, mostly. The offensive things I'd rather not do. For example, rooting through a dead man's pockets is no spring picnic. I just point, whistle, and throw them a few pieces of gold when they do a good job. Easy. Why would I do that? Smart companions are trouble. They don't listen, and they don't stick around. Great thing about this lot is that they'll probably all be dead within a month. Once they're gone, I'll just gather a few more from the local prison. Business! And business is good. We collect discarded arms and equipment, restore it, and sell it back to whoever can afford it. Poached, stolen, appropriated, purloined. Take your pick. We follow the action in Cyrodiil very closely. When an army gets obliterated, we swoop in and gather up the orphaned gear. Exactly! Don't give me that look. There's a market for items we sell. Supply and demand. If we weren't selling them, somebody else would be. That's commerce. Do I look worried to you? Do you think I picked this spot at random? I'm not the prey, my friend. I'm the predator. A fine camp like this, the Iron Orcs can't resist it. Well, let's be honest. Those savages aren't guild scholars. The second we catch wind of an attack, I send these brick-skulled mutts into the bushes. We hit them with a hail of arrows and finish off the stragglers with axes and flails. Simple. Yeah, sure, the Iron Orcs will catch on, eventually, but we'll be long gone by then. I'm sure those fine people in Dragonstar will be able to handle it. And if not, well, we'll have a lot of work to do. There's lots of goods behind those walls.
Fighting for Isrud's a real joy, let me tell you. Queen Irene's nice on the eyes, sure, but she pays about as well as a one-legged farmer. Now I earn more in a week than I did in a year. Deserter is such an unpleasant word. Oh, I don't know. We just needed some time apart. The Dominion deserves better, you know. I wasn't ready for a commitment like that. It's not them, it's me. Oh, no. She absolutely played the role of the jilted lover. I got 2 arrows in the back on my way out the door. More's the pity. The Queen's such a fine lady. If things had been different, perhaps I wouldn't be working for Isrud. Of course. It's good to have another woman in my life. She's as cold as a frost troll's arse, but she's starting to warm to my charms. I have a certain way with people. It's a gift.
It's a shame everyone who doesn't want to fight just can't get up and leave the field of battle. Imagine how much better wars would be if the only participants actually wanted to be there. Yes, these ugly dry skins and I have all said farewell to military life. No one will miss me or my unsteady hand. I dropped more arrows than I ever loosed at the enemy. Nervous? Well, dark elves are always looking for an excuse to put a thumb in my eye. If they catch me, the punishment will be severe. But like I said, no one will miss me. You wouldn't miss me, would you? Well, you didn't have to agree with me so quickly. By the egg.
I could be a writer. It doesn't look that hard to me. But spelling? I hate spelling. I'll get someone to handle that for me.
Did you hear? The entire wedding party vanished, but the groom and some stranger rescued them all from oblivion.
The merchandise is over there. Purchase something or be on your way. My apologies. I am not fond of setting up camp in the middle of Iron Orc territory, but Isrud can be very insistent. 6 years. Those first years were lean, but the war in Cyrodiil has made us very wealthy. Another year, perhaps 2, and I will retire to Sentinel and live like a king. Most of them, yes. Truth be told, we sell far more of the magicked tackle these grey orcs wear. I hear that it grants them unnatural strength. Not enough to withstand Onsi's wrath, I think. What does a sword profit a dead warrior? Better it goes to someone who can use it, yes? The vulture is scorned for its ugliness, but if it wasn't there, we would drown in a sea of carrion. So no, not troubled at all. We hire additional hands when necessary. Some are good fighters, others are good fodder. All are good for lifting boxes and washing dishes. Unfortunately, this group lacks something. Most of them will feed the crows soon. Adandora? Ah, no. She is far too precious to risk in some meaningless skirmish. She writes and sings about our exploits, you see. It is good to be rich, yes, but I think it is better to be rich and famous.
I don't seem to be making much progress.
Slay the progenitor and its handlers, then check on the prisoners. If any remain alive, release them.
By the three, I thought I was done for.
Going to toss us in that disgusting pool with that horrible beast. Thank you for rescuing us.
Split up!
This one is very happy not to be dead right now.
That's the last time I accept an invitation from a mysterious robed figure. Thanks for setting us free.
Present yourself, Regent Boward. The Manticora project is at an end.
Regent Cassipia? What is the meaning of this?
Watch your tone, Regent. Your abomination is dead. Will you abandon the Serpent and join me?
Abandon the Serpent? I would never do that.
Very well, Boward. Join your abomination in oblivion. Boward gave me no choice. My actions must remain secret. Come talk to me after you free the prisoners. None of these deaths would have been necessary if the Serpent hadn't lied to me. Thank you for helping me in this matter. Now, I need to make sure these spawning pools can't be used again. And I should collect a few of the Manticora remains. I need to study them so I can continue to oppose the Serpent's horrid plans. Your help in this task was invaluable. Would you be willing to help me deal another defeat to the Serpent's schemes? Many regents serve the Scaled Court. That's why things occur within its coils that aren't under my control. For example, the Iron Orcs are raising an army. I sent my Seneschal, Little Leaf, to stop their efforts. Perhaps you could lend her a hand. Little Leaf should be somewhere along the road just beyond the Northeast Passage. Let her know I sent you, and she'll trust you implicitly. She has a very trusting soul.
Let's not start something we'll both regret. I could use some help, and you're going to want to hear what I have to say. Cassie sent you? Well, why didn't you say so? I'm so lucky that the Regent looks out for me. All right, we've got a lot of work to do. Have you ever tried to change an Iron Orc's mind? Oh, this is going to be so much fun! We need to stop the Iron Orcs. They're building an army of trolls. Regent Cassipia sent me to convince them to disband the army, but they took my gold and tossed me out. Now that you're here, I have a better plan. You're my better plan. Between my cheerful optimism and your proclivity for violence, there's no way we can lose. Anyway, you'll help, right? Meet me in the ruined tower on the nearby hill. The Iron Orcs have figured out a way to turn a trollop of trolls into an army. It involves training, armor, and magical runes carved right into their skin. I'll meet you in Ilthog's Undertower, and we can deal with the troll trainer first. Well, it's inside the ruins beneath the old tower. It stinks down there. That's what happens when you shove trolls and Iron Orcs into an enclosed space. Anyway, Ilthog uses the ruins as a training arena for the trolls. Because the serpent told them to. But nothing good ever came from dressing trolls in armor and giving them weapons, and that's the acorn's truth. Anyway, stopping the trolls is all part of Cassie's plan to save the Scaled Court. Some of them maybe, but not Cassie and me. We joined the Scaled Court to change the world, not destroy it. We're going to fix all this. Honestly, I don't know what Exarch Brodath was thinking. Brodath's the chief of the Iron Orcs. Kind of hard-headed and a tough old tree. When the Orcs joined the Scaled Court, Brodath was given the title of Ophidian Exarch of Undulating Destruction. It's a mouthful, I know, but I love our titles. Ilthog can train anything, but the real secret is the Red Brittle. I mean, the Nern Crux. It makes the trolls more powerful somehow. If you don't help me stop them, all of Craglorn is doomed. And Regent Cassipia doesn't want to see that happen. Just what are you implying? Oh, I'm just rustling your leaves. Cassie and I are the very best of friends. Because the serpent told them to, but not...
Careful. I erect the spine of warning. Stay back. It's dangerous out here. You should keep moving. These ruins are crawling with Iron Orcs. They beat the sap out of us and dragged off half my guards. Iron Orcs have always been dangerous, but now, I just don't know. We were transporting goods when the Iron Orcs attacked. Came out of nowhere, even dragged away a number of our guards, and they never do that. We've been talking about trying to rescue them, but we're in no condition to fight. Into the Valley of Scars, but they may as well have gone to Secunda. The valley's a fortress. Still, you look tougher than a five-legged Wamasu. Save my guards if you can. If you can't, bring back something we can give to their families. We'll calm the water here for a while longer, and mend what wounds we can. Return after you've found my missing guards, and I'll pay you for your trouble. Earning a living. There's gold to be made out here, as long as you have the courage and commitment to deal with all this celestial nonsense. I was leading a caravan through the region when the Iron Orcs attacked. Took us completely by surprise. Harder than some. But you need to follow opportunities as they present themselves. That's how those Dragonstar caravan thugs do it. Usually, we finish our runs with a few cuts and bruises between us. But not this time.
Good luck, and may Talpapa bring you and our friends back safely.
If you get a chance, make those Iron Orcs pay for what they did to us. A little blood for blood, know what I mean? It's only fair.
You're going into the Valley of Scars? You're certainly braver than I am.
These Iron Orcs are no fun at all. I had such high hopes for the diplomatic method. Ilthog Ironblood, were you...
Not this again, whelp! Away with you!
Oh well, I tried. The better plan it is. The loot. I play a little. Cassie says I'm good, but I think she's just being nice. wish there had been another way. Poor stubborn Ilthag. I should have taken the gold. Good point. What was I thinking? We're going to have to do a lot more to disband the troll army. I guess I need to go talk to Runescriber Kulth, Armorer Uthik, and maybe even Exarch Bradath. You're right. I know you're right. That doesn't make it any easier. Still, I have a mission, and if violence is the only way to complete it, then violence it is. The Valley of Scars. And yes, the place is as delightful as it sounds. It's north of here. You can't miss it. I'll meet you there. Runescriber Kulth is a true artist. His intricate designs are so beautiful, and powerful too. He adds Nirncrux dust to his ink and carves the runes right into a troll's flesh. Says it boosts the magic. He works on the west side of the valley. Armorer Uthik crafts the armor worn by the trolls and the Welwers. It's not ordinary armor either. Uthik adds Nirncrux dust to make her armor tougher and more powerful. Her forge is on the east side of the valley. Exarch Bradath is the Iron Orc Chief, but he's also a ranking member of the Scale Court. That's why he has the great honorific, the Ophidian Exarch of Undulating Destruction. Whew, wish I had a title like that. I'm sure he's in the valley somewhere.